this is a story where I had borrowed $6 million from the U.S. government through the SBIC program, Small Business Investment Company program. And I had put that money to work in small businesses. I had invested in about 40 different businesses. And about 4 years later, they came knocking on my door, and I had a bunch of cats and dogs in there, and I didn't know what I had. And they said, you're on our troubled list. And I said, okay, what does that mean? And they said, well, we're just watching you. And then they called back about 2 months later, and they said, well, you're on our dirt list. And I said, well, what does that mean? They said, well, we're calling your loan. And I said, no, you can't call my loan. So I flew back to Washington, and I told them about all the different companies we had invested in. And I said, I hope this will all work out. But just hang in there with me, will you, please? And to their credit, they said, okay. And after that, that was from 85 to say 1990. And then 91, there was a beginning of an IPO boom, and I had 5 IPOs, and suddenly I went from being on their dirt list to my picture was on their wall as the venture capitalist of the year. And so yeah, I've been through these. Incidentally, while I was on the dirt list, I was hedging my bets, and so I went to Alaska because they were looking for somebody to teach them venture capital. At this time, Alaska was panicking because oil's prices were $6 a barrel. And so they needed something else for their economy. And so I went there and I said, yeah, I can teach venture capital. And because of my presumed failure in the venture capital business, I was able to work a deal with the Alaskan government where we'd invest in Alaska and down in the Silicon Valley, and I'd have a fund. Well, it turned out that was the beginning of the DFJ network, and we were able to do all sorts of things with that. It turns out that fund didn't do too well. We lost all the money in Alaska, pretty much, and but we more than doubled the money in the Silicon Valley, so they ended up breaking even or making a little money. But overall, we didn't feel like that was a great success. What it's taught me is for Draper University now, when I'm building Draper University, I have everybody put their hand on their heart and say, I will fail and fail again until I succeed.